Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome, welcome, welcome to your doom, in which I talk about common sense. And I try to keep it down under the nitty-gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, that means it's something very, 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 very fucking important. And my videos are not important to the masses of asses. So if you're a person who believes in an external God rather than the God within himself, you're not holistic, you wear tattoos, you wear shades, you seek validation, you like to troll people just for the hell of it, just to piss them off, you like to use any form of drugs. I said smoking cigarettes and alcohol. You're a whore, okay? You basically are a Jezebel. You're a whoremongering, which is meaning the male whoremonger. But if you're a shapeshifter or an alien or a demon or any of those things, you can watch my videos because you're not human. And those I say most humans are very selfish creatures, focusing in on validation from strangers. I try to say you are welcome in my book. If you're a wizard, you're a psychopath, and you understand that I am not to be fucked with because the demons and angels that fuck with me every fucking night, so I can't go to sleep and I gotta take medication, which I really don't sometimes, which I have to. No, I don't. I'm holistic. I'm just joking. But anyway, I digress here. Please don't watch my videos. I really don't I don't share my videos with my peoples. And YouTube puts my videos on a shadow ban because the words I speak, they're using algorithms and they're using computer technology, which is most likely inaccurate because it's not, proper, okay, because of freedom of speech. I put my videos on 18 and above, so I can say what I want. I should be able to. But if you see a video that says 18 and above and it gets removed, it's not like I'm breaking their policy, because they do have pornography on YouTube, right? So that's automatic violation. They contradict themselves. But I put my videos as 18 and above. So you have to put your data in, because it seems to me that they don't know where to put the videos at. There's people out there who don't have no restrictions on their goddamn, or they don't even have to follow policy. They just post it because they're making money off of it, okay, right? But that's YouTube. But anyway, let me get on with the topic for today. I just made a video about a woman who says she's coming back to the United States, and I'm wondering why she want to come back to the United States. She's probably lying, but she made a lot of sense in her story, okay? I don't post my whole life on the internet for obvious reasons. But I want to tell you the pros and the cons for living overseas, because I lived over in Ethiopia for about 2 years. I've traveled to Sierra Leone. I've traveled to the Gambia. All right, goddammit. I know people that's in the Nigeria. I know people in Bangladesh. All right, okay. So since we got that clear, if you followed me all the way since back in 2012, you followed my first Martheus knowledge, then you're a true patron to me. Okay? You know how to follow my Cash App. You know how to follow me and look at my description box to know where I'm at. Okay? All right. I'm usually on Facebook. All right? And you can easily find me on the Cash App. All right? I'm not begging for shit. I'm just disappearing. I'm not trying to feed off of you. No. All right. Okay. I lived in Ethiopia, and I'm going to tell you my experiences. I'm not trying to compare myself to anyone, but I saw other people who talked about it, very small and few in between. I'm going to tell you right now that there are far more pros living overseas off the grid. I actually met a couple men overseas in Sierra Leone. They told me, you're living on the grid, so they're going to charge you. They're going to take your soul. Okay. And that made a lot of sense. And I figured that out a long time ago in 2012. As I was living out in Ethiopia, okay, Now, this is different from Sierra Leone now. I've traveled and I saw guys living in different countries, and they said you can't live in America. You're on the grid. They into your life. They're not, you can't have a private life. Very difficult to do. Even Candace Owens, which I look up to, and Larry Elder, okay? I look up to those individuals. You don't have a private life. If they find out anything in your life, they will snoop and snip, okay? This is white America. It's a corporation, baby, okay? White America is equivalent to corporate America, all right? Because everything is about money, all right? And the women are basically big balling time right now because OnlyFans and shit. But I digress here. Since you have passed the 5-minute and 47-minute mark, let's begin with the pros. The pros are this. Everything is cheaper by 70%. You do not want to go to countries like Nigeria or any developed country because they'll try to compare their prices to American prices. And that's not fair to you, okay, right? But I'm going to tell you the pros. And then even if they do raise their prices in a sense, there's still way more pros. The pros are you don't have to be screened for credit checks, background checks, okay, this, that, and another. It's mainly rent, okay? You're paying for the rent, okay? And I only paid $167 per month out there. And as I was living out there, I realized there was way more other benefits too. Like your electric is not that high at all. You can pay for satellite. You can get it. You just purchase the satellite one time and you don't pay monthly. See? You pay for a satellite dish. I showed you in my first Martha's Knowledge. I showed you my marriage. I lived out there very comfortably. I was supposed to stay out there, but the pimps told me my wives are overseas. You might as well just stay over there. And I'm like, I tried to bring her back. The spirit told me, you better come back, because there's a war coming. I listen to my Holy Spirits and angels and demons. I listen to all of them, and they tell me shit, and I don't believe it, and then they force me. Then when the spirit actually forces me, no matter what I do, they tend to guide me in the right direction anyway. It's just I have to suffer first. But anyway, here's another pros. Your rent is cool. It's not gonna go over like $200 a month. And even if it goes to $500, there's Airbnb. When I first tried Airbnb in Sierra Leone, it was very perfect. It was very easy to do. The only thing is that you may need to transport yourself from one destination to the next. And that's pretty easy, depending on who you are staying with and who you are visiting. It's very easy to do once you got the money to transport. Getting transport in the Airbnb is the best and easiest thing for Airbnb. Mainly countries that are trying to develop and trying to accept, foreigners to come into their country. I've been in a couple places, okay? And I've also shown you in my videos in the Martha's Knowledge 9 where I was living at. And I stayed in Sierra Leone for like 1 month, okay? From one of my wives. Right, yeah. And I try to tell you guys, do this and you'll be more comfortable. But another thing is that when you go out there, all of the food is cheaper. You can use your Visa card to purchase food, okay? These are the pros. There's a lot more pros. Let me see. You'll have more peace. You won't have to worry about someone's being egotistical down the street because they were trained in westernized ways to have an attitude or be loud. There ain't none of that shit out there. That egocentric shit is gone, okay? And no matter where you live at, in an underdeveloped, poor country, it seems to be quiet. It's just traffic going by, okay? Everybody seems to be kind and nice. There's not someone trying to rob you, but you can get robbed, so you better be careful with that. And I'm going to talk about the cons. I'll talk about more pros as they come along. The pros is that there's not a lot of whores walking around everywhere because they don't know English anyway, and you can't be a whore to them because they don't know English, okay? Everything is about money out there, but not as much because everything is poor around. So, like I said before, in America, since most people are poor, okay, the country would tend to cater to those who are poor more than rich, all right? And then you'll have a lot of people having empty houses, and you don't want to do that. So you got to wait. When prices go up, it's just temporary, okay? Now the cons. The cons is that the main thing I had a problem with living out and abroad is the power issue. I didn't have that much power issue in Ethiopia, but I had an issue with power problem in Sierra Leone. Okay, I had an issue with power problem in the Gambia. So the more poor the country is, the more likely you're going to have power problems. And you're going to have to get generators and solar powers and stuff like that. You're going to have to get those little gas-based cooking machines. And another pro I've actually came up with right now, and that is the warm temperatures, okay? In the rainy seasons, you have to watch out for mosquitoes, but the mosquitoes don't like my blood, so, you know, because I have purities in my blood, and they don't like that. They can smell it, because I like garlic. I will go to the store and buy garlic all of the time, and lemon. Okay, garlic, lemon, ginseng, okay, rosemary, these things I have in my blood system, okay? It's just, I'm a holistic individual. Okay, so, other than that, okay, the negatives are you can't use internet. You can forget it. Even when you use another positive thing when you're out there, you can carry yourself a MeFi, you know, to walk around, okay? You use that MeFi. You have to purchase that MeFi for anybody that you come in to meet, because when you get to the airport in Africa, they have a problem with their network. It's not strong. It's not strong at all. You can actually use your own phone. You just need someone with the MeFi. You don't have to be changing your card. You don't need to do all that. Just keep your phone service, and then you'll get charged, what's it called, roaming charges or something like that, and use the MeFi. It's way more cheaper that way, because they're charging for Infinity, okay, and Comcast. They're only charging like $100, and that's good. Okay, but you're not going to be out there that long. I think I was charged $70. It's on a turn use basis, so I had to use $77, and I didn't have to switch over. They just did it for you automatically. So if you have your phone, your high gadget phone, this is a pro now. This don't take out cards and all that stuff. Don't do that. Okay, it's too complicated. Just get a MeFi, share her MeFi, and you'll get a roaming charge, but it's not that much. If you call internationally, it usually happens when you're calling international. You get charged by the minute, so be careful with that. Lucky for me that my phone was capable of using international services, but I didn't know, and then I found that it was way more cheaper, so just let it go. Okay, don't even worry about that roaming charge. Just use your phone and piggyback off the MeFi. A MeFi is a mobile wireless router. Okay, you can take it with you everywhere you go. You have to have that. All right, these are the pros. You can have a computer with a dongle on it. Okay, I had one. You can also use Magic Jack. Magic Jack is very, very cheap and very efficient to use. All right. And those are the pros so far. The negatives are that you can't get on the internet too much. If the power goes out, you can't use the internet at all, okay? So they have a monopoly on the internet out there. Depends on where you go. And then you can't get online, you can't game, okay? You can't buy video games out there, so you can forget that. If you're a gamer, you better bring all your library. You better not even allow no one near it. You better bring your board games. You better bring your card games. You better bring your A game when you go out there, because it's really, you want to live peacefully. You don't need all this extra baggage carrying around and stuff. You need your entertainment. You're not going to be sitting in the bed doing nothing, because I always moved around when I was out there. I was recording some things, and people was having festivals, sometimes down and up in the street. Sometimes, not often. And going shopping is very easy. Always go to the big supermarkets. Always go to the big supermarkets. Okay. You can go in the little shops. You can buy those foods over there, and that'd be much better for you if you were on the budget. But supermarkets have everything you need. All right. You might have to get a Bunsen burner. That's a positive thing. As I said before, getting fuel in order to cook foods is easy out there. You just have to have the person that you're with know where to go. That's it. And you better have a backup. If something happens, you just have to have a backup. That's all. Now, I've listed a whole ton of things for positives and pros. But there's not a lot of negatives. It's not a lot of negatives. It's just the power goes out. And mosquitoes. You don't, and another pro is that you don't have to get a malaria shot. It's not mandatory, even though it says it on the internet. You don't. Because I'm holistic. Then what? You're not going to be going over getting shots, okay? Okay, let me see. What else is there, okay? I'm talking from experience down here. I lived in Ethiopia for 2 years. I lived in Sierra Leone for like 1 month. I lived in the Gambia for like about 1 month as well. So please, you listen to the people who have experience. And if you want to see my videos, just go to Martha's Knowledge, the first Martha's Knowledge. It still should be up. I still talk crazy as fuck, right? Other than that, what else is there? I don't know what else to say. Oh yeah, a con. This is a con that I really want you guys to understand something here, because there are some areas it's just too rocky. You'll get in those little budgets, and then they'll drive you over some rocky turret, and I'm like, fix these goddamn roads, man. That's for the business purposes. That your ass is going to be hurting because you never rode. You got to hold on, and you might fall out of the fucking buggy or some shit like that. That is just terrible. I had to go in some rocky areas. The poorer the area, the more likely the road is not fixed. And I don't like to live in none of those areas. From my experiences, I recorded it too. Look on my videos. All right? And I'm just trying to help you guys out, okay? Because women don't usually travel overseas like men do when it's trying to look for a companion, okay? Or look for love or whatever, okay? It's just you have to keep them over there. And when you have children or whatever, you got to keep them over there. Sorry, you just have to do that because it's so expensive to live in America. I didn't know until like 2-3 years ago. Prices are starting to rise because of the tariffs and also, greedy people, okay? Supply and demand as well, okay, right? But when the greedy people stop being greedy, then they'll let things down. They'll let the guard down, and they'll like people in like before, okay? It's the same thing over and over. History repeats itself. But I lived out there, and I lived a luxurious life in a way, and then I was very comfortable. A lot of the houses out there are very empty for some reason, and I said, hey, this rented to people who can afford small amounts of rent, and at least somebody's in it, living in it. Now, whatever somebody wants to come along, you got to be careful with that, okay? I lived in Ethiopia, and she got me a house just like that. It's all on who you know. If you don't know a person that gets around, forget about it. Don't even try to go out there, okay? Because that person don't know their way around. But what else is there to say? If there's anything else I would like to say, I didn't write none of this stuff down. This is off the top of my head now here, okay? A lot of guys can't do what I do because they're too broke to even pay me $30 a month. And I'm like a father figure. I try my best to guide you, and you'll constantly have like a person to talk to, like a therapist or a counselor. And as I said before, there are knuckleheads out there who watch my videos and don't understand where I'm coming from. Like I had this argument with this knucklehead at Beta Mel. I work with him, and it's like, you don't need to go to college to be institutionalized because they're behind on the times. When a doctor graduates from a hospital, from a college, all that information they learned in that college is dated. There's new information out there. They have to get re-educated, right? So information is always changing. So get educated. Okay, you can do it yourself. You just have to prove that you're worthy to the company, and they will hire you. Okay, is that easy? Just go up to look up New Age knowledge in 2025, and you'll far supersede the knowledge that's in the colleges. And they may be working on 2024, okay? And then they have to switch the books out. But still, you'll still be able to do it, bypass the whole system. Because a lot of colleges, and even some institutions like community colleges, they're behind on the times, depending on what field you want to study. But you can actually be knowledgeable if you convince the employer to hire you. And it's not hard, okay? But me, I like to live the easy life. I don't want to stress myself. My genetics is not really prone to intellectualism, but I love intellectualism and I love math. Okay, right? And I love chess. And I love talking to the spirits, the angels and the demons too. So, and they cause me stress, but there's nothing I can do about that, you know. Because I'm trying to live holistically and live a peaceful and balanced life. But these are the videos. This video is mainly for the pros and the cons internationally, overseas, from my personal experience. All right. And I have videos to back up that I lived out there. Ta-da! You have a good day. Because I'm not your man. I'm not your man. And y'all have a nice day, okay? Peace.